of trouble at the beginning, no question about that. But once you have done it, and you are a victor over your own craving, oh my goodness, the happiness you get is, you can't purchase that happiness. That also is from experience. So now, having lighted the light, offered it to Lord Buddha with the same lighter. Instead of using it on a cigarette, use it on a candle, on a batti, on a deepa, and offer it to Bhagavan, so that the light of truth may dawn inside you. Buddha is the very embodiment of light. The embodiment, he is the source, spiritual sun, from where all lights emanate. So you go to him and say, Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. Then Buddha says, no, merely saying Saranagamanam won't do. You better practice metta, you better practice sila. You practice Dhamma. So he says, start with the foundation of all that is good. So the definition of sila is Adhara Bhutang Upadharanang iti silam. That which is the foundation, the very basis for all that is good. Now, child, in this world, you have all kinds of beings. And these beings are born helpless. Here in our world, a baby is born. He is blind actually, he can't see. He can't talk. He can't hear. And he lands himself into this world of ours. After landing, the fellow doesn't know what is happening. Now the nurse whacks the back of the baby, and the baby gets like that. He gets a shock and he begins to breathe. If he can't breathe, he becomes a blue baby and he dies. So this little whack, this little slap, is a good thing to give him life. So unless we get slapped from dukkha, we can't get out of dukkha. To give up suffering, you have to learn from suffering itself. Only a kapurusha, a coward, runs away from suffering and cries and embraces so-called happiness and joy and sex and pleasure to get out of suffering. No. With pleasure you can't get out of pain. You get more pain. So you face pain and overcome pain. That is spiritual life. So now you take up, say, this baby who has come. Unless the baby gets protection, the first whack is a good protection. It begins to breathe. So life starts with dukkha and also ends with dukkha. And in between birth and death, it is all a river of dukkha in which we swim. That is life. Only a wise person, objective, though a person who can think objectively, impersonally, can see it. Those who are caught up by addictions of religion, of caste, of creed, of all kinds of worldly habits, they can't see. So they are never freed from dukkha. So to be freed from dukkha, you must learn to renounce dukkha, restrain dukkha. So now the mother and father of the baby, with great love, with great sacrifice, day and night looks after the baby. The fellow can't even sit, he can't even stand or sit. He has to lie on his tummy or on his back. So anyhow, this tummy-lying fellow, he is now brought up nicely by the mother. That the baby doesn't know that he is making, he is urinating or excreting on the hand of the mother. And the mother lovingly, as though it's such a nice thing, that excreta the mother removes without any kind of grudge. Lovingly she does that. The fellow is pulled by the father and he nicely urinates on the face of the father. The father never gets angry. He says, oh, okay. Now this is how the baby is protected and brought up. Then he begins to sit. He falls again and again, but again he gets up. Then he stands. Then he walks. Then he runs. Then he goes to school, on and on. Then he becomes, once he is adult, he walks on his own, he starts his own family and then gets in the jata of family life. I am not finding fault with family life, no. I was brought up in a family life, I am grateful to my parents. But that is where jata starts, that is reality. Accept reality and you will reach reality. You will arrive at the highest reality. Close your eyes to reality. Forever you will drift in the ocean of ignorance and delusion. That is what will happen. So accept it. Now this child is capable of becoming a great professor, a great engineer, a great scientist, a great astronaut and what not. That helpless little fellow now is a big astronaut, big president of a huge country and all that sort of thing. So now this little tiny bit of action called chetana, volition, a tiny helpless little baby on the tummy, lying on the tummy. That chetana, when nurtured by the parents, by wisdom, by all the other mental qualities that go along with, that arise together with chetana, with volition, and which motivates the action. Now the lighter only ignites, that is chetana. But that thing has to be, if you want to feed that light, there must be petrol, enough of it inside. So that feeds. So this feeding process is done by motivations of lobha, dosa, moha, alobha, adosa, amoha. That is, they are known as roots of action. Good action, bad action. So all that is good in the world, good bodily action, good verbal action, good mental action, all good speech, all good write-ups, all good communications, all the developments in various fields of knowledge, and let us say arts, technology, everything, all good things have their root in chetana, good chetana. The creativity chetana, the chetana which creates all these things. Like that baby being nurtured into an astronaut. So this sila, tiny thing, once understood that a sila is an action, and that too kamma patha, not mere action. All actions are not sila, but all sila are actions. Bodily action, verbal action, mental action. It's like karma. All karmas, that is volitional activities, are actions. But all actions are not volitional action. No. There can be non-volitional, non-intentional action also. They are not karmas, they are not silas. So having known that basically it is karma, and then when you know that karma is the basis for either bondage in samsara, you come again and again, you die again and again, you are born again and again. This wheel of samsaric existence is created by action. So, action ultimately is the brick and mortar of existence. So now once we know that Sila is action, and it is the root of all good, wholesome action. A wholesome action can always bring forth results in the form of upward motion. A wholesome karma is bound to be born and bound to bring forth, you see, for instance, Janaka, Upathambaka, Upapilaka, Upaghataka. Either as Janaka karma, that means a karma which produces rebirth. Not all actions can produce rebirth. But Sila as a Janaka karma can produce rebirth. So if you maintain your Panchashila, now this baby, I will give you the example. The mother and father, tremendous love, protects all the time. Now that parent, you see this, and this protective mind has grown so powerful that he or she understands the danger of violence. If the baby is not protected, the baby will die any moment. So destructivity, killing, destruction is the root cause of suffering in the world. And the protectiveness, saving, protecting, not killing, but giving life. Protecting life in all kinds of ways. You give dana, that protects life. You save in 100 different ways. You promote the well-being in so many ways of life. That is the good of all. Is good. Everything good in this world is produced by this protectiveness. Similarly, everything bad in this world is produced by miserliness, stinginess, greed, and all that. Non-giving. But the opposite, everything good comes out of generosity, nobility of mind, open-hearted charity, open-handed charity. Similarly, all good comes from restraint over the animal urge for sexual pleasure. Either a man and woman can become an animal, literally, if there is no control of morality over that, then the person can become animal. But if there is control, the parents looks after the children and the whole family, and so much of sacrifice, so much of goodness, the whole society is protected by such good parents. Similarly, truth. All that is good in this world is protected by Sila. It depends upon Sila, Adhara, because it is in accord. It is consistent with truth, with justice, with that which is noble, that which is right, that which is just, that which is ultimately true. These are the yardsticks of Sila. So, samadhanam karoti iti silam, that which coordinates and brings about a consistency between truth and the action. Sila is action. So your action will have to be such that it is consistent with truth, consistent with justice, consistent with rightness. A person who tells lie and gets away by, he comes and says, give me a vote and I will bring heaven here on this earth. I will protect your whole country, your whole caste, your whole community, I will do this, I will do that, etc. And I will destroy the others and protect you. Wonderful. So, all this lie that these people practice, the politicians throughout the world, has turned this world into a nightmare. They don't think that truth ultimately is the source of all happiness. And unless you uphold truth, instead of violating and transgressing against truth, instead of transgression or violation of truth, uphold truth. You see, from that, this to be consistent with truth, that is this basis for Sila. So if you undertake a Panchashila and you say, I am not going to tell a lie, come what may, I will not tell a lie, and you stick to this precept of morality, of virtue, by not telling lie, 12 years you keep on doing that. After that, whatever you will say will become true. Your word will acquire the power of truth. That is the power of truthfulness. So whatever Bhagavan Buddha has said, whatever the Arahats say, comes true. 100% truth. Nobody can say that the world is not dukkha. Nobody can say it's not dukkharya satcha. And nobody can say that dukkharya satcha comes because of craving. These are facts. So Buddhism is based on fact, on truth, not on theology, not on all kinds of theories, not on any god or any man or guru or nothing. Truth, fact. So accept fact and then you will reach the ultimate fact. So Panchashila, if you understand the philosophical importance, the psychological importance and the ethical importance underlying Sila, believe me, you can become a Sotapanna, one who has entered the stream of Nibbana. So, Sila, Panchashila, adherence to Sila should not be a matter of blind faith or even mere intellectual conviction or some kind of blindly you accept it, everybody else taking, so I am also taking. No. Knowingly, with conviction, with understanding, if you understand this Sila, that it is ultimately good karma. It's a chetana. Now, for instance, panati pata vermani, adinna dana vermani, abrahma, you see, to abstain from killing, abstain from stealing, abstain from sexual misconduct, abstaining from telling lies, abstaining from carrying tales, slandering, or abstaining from abusing people and all that and hurting people, or abstaining from gossiping, the 4 types of verbal action and the 3 types of mental action. You see, you make up your mind not to run after pleasure and things like that. No lobha, no dosa, no moha. These are the roots. They are the mental actions. Avijja, avyapada and samadhiti. So these 10-fold courses of action, kammapatha, if you stick to that, then you will see that the Sila ultimately boils down to that. And that being so, it can take, it's automatic it is, that you can never be born in apaya. You can never be born in a lower planes of existence once you stick to Panchashila with understanding. Panchashila fully developed with, you see, jnana sampayutta chitta, with a mind that is rooted in jnana, in wisdom. Once with that you practice this Panchashila, a person can become a Sotapanna. And in Buddha's time, my goodness, 100,000s of them, all Sotapannas. There were little children who were Sotapannas. So, if you never underestimate the power of action, and Sila is action, and therefore volition, if you cultivate the volition of, let us say, avidya, which means non-covetousness, non-seeking, that means to be very satisfied, to be very happy with what you have got. Once you see, some monks came, Bhagavan Buddha was staying in Rajagaha. Now, Bhagavan came, as you know, Sakya Republic, you see, there, Kapilavattu, that was the capital of that particular kingdom. Sorry. So Bhagavan Buddha hailed from Kapilavattu, and now some monks, they all came from Kapilavattu and the Sakyan Republic. So they bowed down to Bhagavan, and Bhagavan knew them, all of them. So he said, "How are you, monks? Are you all right?" And so forth. And then he gave a little discourse on the Noble Eightfold Path and the middle path. He says, "Now, can you tell me, monks, do you have any monk in your native place, in your native country, native city, where there is a monk who is the very embodiment, the very exemplar, you see, of the Noble Eightfold Path, consisting of Sila, Samadhi,